I'm live. I'm live. Everybody that was in here, come back in here. Get back. Get back. Hello. And if you were watching this on the replay, one, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And if you could hit the thumbs up on the way out the door, replay crew, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Hello, 6 people are here. Come on, guys. Hey, there's Deborah. And there's my peas. Where's my Sassy Sarah? Sassy Sarah. Oh, I am in a goofy mood. Hey, Ocean Tide. I'm in a goofy... Sarah. Could put it... Hey, Sissels. Thank you, Sarah. Hey, Carrie. Wait. Oh. Thank you. Hey, Terry. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Terry. Hey, Carrie. Deborah. Sizzles. I hope everybody's set. Scroll up. You came back. I saw that, baby. I love you. I love you to your anus and back. I don't like it when you don't leave no more. I don't like it. Don't leave no more. Don't leave no more. I am so glad that we're going. Hey, Teresa. I'm so glad we're getting. I love them. Thank you, Aunt Kathy, as well. I got the candles over there because I'm going to keep it right there on my desk on that. Everything I love is on that dresser, actually. And it's sitting over there. And have this women, and there's something else. Oh, the keychain. I need the keychains upstairs. Thank you. But this is going to stay out. I love every one of these. Look, Sarah got me these. Look, hold on. Because y'all know I love some pens, right? Hey, Nate. Y'all know I love me some pens. And they have blue ink. Did y'all know I love blue ink? Hey, Halloween, baby. I hope everybody's having it. Hey, Half Pint. Suzette, hello. Sarah, welcome. Sarah, I was listening to you most of the late afternoon. I'm telling you. Hey, Tiny T. I have a very limited Ernie shelf life. It's around 5 minutes. As I can listen to Ernie for 5 minutes. And then I can't listen to him anymore. And honestly, I was there. I mean, I'm always tight, but I'm always there. So, and I'm sorry with Gypsy, there's something about her voice that makes me want to punch puppies in the face. And that's all I can say about that. Ice Spicy Disaster. When I hear Gypsy's voice, I want to go out and find some newborn puppies and punch them in the face. So I was there, but I stayed long. I've had a busy weekend. We're finishing our basement. The house built. Oh, cool. Though, Carrie. Cool. You know me. I love a basement. Hey, Midnight Baker. I love a basement. Little nooks and little crannies, and you make your little office out of it. I love this one. Gypsy. Well, she's not going to, Sarah. She's not going to. Hey, Mama. Hey, Anissa. Listen, y'all, Mitten Mama blowing up. Her and Joe are blowing up. The channel is blowing up. It's exploding. It's exploding. Get in on the ground floor. Hey, Laura Lee. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. I can't remember what it was. It'll come to me. It will come to me. I've been really smart today, though. Look, so I I added a lot of new photographs because we covered 1971 to 1977, 78, something like that. The first 11 girls. The first 11 girls that a man took responsibility for killing and was never charged. Even though he was in prison for something else, those cases are not cleared now. Hey, Mama Cannoli, those cases aren't clear. They're not ever going to be clear. There's never going to be a resolution to the first 11 murders in basically Galveston. That's really where most of them took place. I mean, some of them in Houston, but it's only a 30-minute drive between. I think it's 50 miles. Hey, Devious. Welcome, Devious. So those cases will never be resolved. What are you gonna do? So I thought, all right, because it's so many girls. And even though I would think I knew who one was, I would find out, oh, it's not her, it's somebody completely different. So I did a little cheat code to my photographs. I'm getting better at this photograph thing. I did a little cheat code so I know who it was, who all the girls were, because there's a lot of them. I mean, they say that 30 women. I think it's more than that. I think that there's quite a few who are on every single list. And then if you get into another list, there's some other girls that they mention. I found an extra girl who's quite famous, and when we get to her, but I found an extra girl. And if I can do it, what the hell? I don't know why anybody else can't. Hey, Alan, how are you? Yeah, please hit me. Give me that. I got to get my algorithm up. I can say this, though. And I mean, Nicolina, all them girls over there. Nick, welcome to the screening room. Y'all are so supportive. I just adore you. I really do. I thank y'all. You support me, and might not be your thing, vintage crime and all that, but I appreciate you sharing it out and showing up. I really do. I really, really, really do. So I'll wait one more second. I also got a new thing of sticky notes. I got 2 new packs of sticky notes. So y'all know how I am with notes, right? Well, with regular notes. Hey, Vicky, I'm even worse with sticky notes. I got sticky note. I love that y'all love it. You know what they say, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. My grandma used to say that all the time. Do something you love. All right, so I have quite a bit of material here because, like I said, last week we had 11 girls, and that was, honest to God, too many. But we only had one person who took responsibility for them, and that was Edward Bell, who wrote a poem called 11 Sent to Heaven, and he told the police and the newspapers and all that, their names and the details of how he killed them. Again, never convicted of it because he was never charged with them because, well, I do know why. I'll tell you why. Think how you doing. I know why, because I've seen it. For some reason or another, in Texas, and I'm not gonna bash Texas, but I'm gonna bash Texas for a second. The policemen in Texas, and I mean in Houston and Galveston, if they find a body that's even halfway decomposed, they don't have enough evidence. And if they can't, y'all need to hold on. You probably should take a nerve pill because it happened with Edward Bell, but it has also happened a lot with the other suspects where they have said, I did it. I did it. And because they couldn't find the body, they didn't charge the person. And they were all still in jail.
In like a cool way.
Now, here in Virginia, y'all might not know. Y'all might not know. In the 80s, we had a girl go missing from a nightclub near Radford University, Gina Renee Hall. Gina Renee Hall. And she was in a, like a club inside of a hotel, that all the kids, all the Radford girls went to. And that night, a man named Stephen Epperly asked her if she wanted to come out to the lake where his friend's parents owned a house, right? She said, sure, okay. She called her sister when she got there, but back then we didn't trace. Hey, Lulu. Hey, Rachel. So when the guy whose parents owned the house got there, he never saw Gina Renee. He never saw her. He saw his friend Stephen Epperly say she was down there, but he never saw her. And then they left, quote unquote, got in the car and left. Her car. And it was found under a train trestle and up in the area. But not with the body. No body in it. And he was gone. They had a dog. They brought in a dog. Dog. That's what we call them here in Virginia, dogs. Hey, Vicky, they brought in a dog, and that dog traced the scent from that car that was still parked under the trestle, all the way through the woods, all the way around here, straight to Stephen Epperly's front door. And when they knocked on the door and told him what that dog had just done, he said, and I quote, "That's a damn good dog." So the DA in that area, and this was in the 80s, early 80s, had to make a decision. Couldn't find the body. Did not know where. Nobody knew where the body was. Still don't know where the body is. But he decided to try Stephen Epperly without a body. And he was only the second prosecutor in the country to do it. And you think if he effed that up, Stephen Epperly would have been free if he effed it up. And Epperly never testified, which he never did. Stephen Epperly could have walked out of court, taken y'all straight to the damn where her body was and go, there she is. And there's nothing that can be done about it. Nothing. It's lavender. So we don't even need a body here. All right. We're in Virginia. We don't need a body. We don't need it. But in Texas, for some reason, if that body is in any way, shape, or form decayed, and somebody says, I did it, I don't know. It's pretty decayed. I don't know. It's pretty decayed. That is a good book. Oh, yes. I couldn't wait to read that book. Because that's just an hour and a half maybe away from me, not even an hour and a half. And me and my daughter, my little daughter at the time, she's 17 now. So when I read that book, she's probably 15. We wanted to go look. Nah, thank you very much, Lauren Lee. Yeah, we wanted to go look. I think they ended up finding a bone, which is more that they... But... All right. So what did we do? When we left off here last week, we had discussed the first 11. We got into the actual killing field, the actual one, not the 3130 that's been strung from Houston to Galveston, the actual killing field, which had Heidi Fye. It had Laura Miller, Tim Miller's daughter, 16 years old. It had It had, hold on, I'll tell you exactly who it was. Hold on. Anita Cox. And a little way, shape, or form down there. Hey, gosh. We have Donna Prudhomme. And we talked about the killer, though proven none of Ellen Bison, which he was convicted of. He was convicted of abuse of a corpse, right, of Ellen Bison. And then the police exhumed her, found the huge and numerous skull fractures, brought him back in, Mr. Clyde Hedrick, and he said, "Oh no, don't know." He's the only one that could have done it. And when the prosecutor took it to court for murder, all he could get out of the jury was involuntary manslaughter. Harold Bell. Yes, a young, right, Arthur, have you seen it? It's a very young Matt McConaughey who plays the guy that he killed. It's a very young Matt McConaughey. I don't forget that when I rewatched it. Yeah, because Edward Bell took off. He took off. He paid his $150,000 bail, and he took the fuck off to wherever the hell he went. All right, let me get my stuff out here. What is that? Hold on, I got everything upside down. So we had Clyde. So we also put together that Clyde was a very big. He loved the Texas Moon Bar, and we know that Heidi Fye worked. She was a bartender there. She was also last seen at a convenience store. And we also know that Laura Miller was last seen on the phone of that exact convenience store. So that's how those two are connected. Not to mention, as we remember, that before Tim Miller and his family moved to League City, they lived in Dickinson. And yeah, Clyde happened to have been living 2 doors down from Tim and his family. So Clyde knew Laura Miller from the old neighborhood. So they're connected. Now, how are we connected to number 3? I don't know. He's definitely not connected to the 4th one. So but then again, who am I to say? We're going to start pulling out these victims. It's a big pack, too. It's a big pack. Let's get it out. Let's get it out of here. All right. This is a lot of work. I'm telling you, I worked day and night on this. I really did. I worked day and night. Let's bring up the. Let's get these pictures up. Because I just want to cover the girl, the actual real life. There's Mr. There's Mr. Bell. And then remember, this is Laura. She looks like her dad. This was Jane Doe number 1. This was Jane Doe. The second woman, and it took 19 years to identify both of them, was classified as Janet Doe. No, we don't remember that. Yeah, I don't even know. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think we need that. This is before when they it was just nasty. It was just a nasty oil field. In fact, there's a name to it. I'll find it in a minute. It's got a name, like, whatever. It's owned by, there's fucking Clyde. Here's where they found 1, 2, and 3. We get it. We get it together. There's the 4. There's Ellen Bison. So that's who Clyde killed 10 or some years before. So here's Heidi, Anita, Laura, and Donna. Now, so there was a little break, not a big break, but there was a little break between, murders. These girls weren't even dead yet, okay? And when you see these people, you're gonna know who they are. It's Tina and Dean Klaus. You probably have seen their photo on the news recently. Evil ghost. Hey, very lucky lady. I'm sorry. Hey, Susan, yay. I was over on the other side. Let me try to get these bigger. Okay. So if they look familiar to you, they should, because they were found dead in Texas. They moved from Florida to Texas in the summer of 1980. Dean made cabinets. Hey, freaking fabulous friends, how are you? He made cabinets, and there was a huge boom in Houston in the 80s, in the early 80s. Everybody was moving there. They couldn't get enough construction workers and skilled labor. They couldn't, it was huge. And that's what he went to capitalize on. She was only 17 and he was 20, and that's their little girl. So when they moved to Louisville, Texas, all of a sudden, they were living with his cousin to save money, and then they were here and there. And then they just kind of that girl. Thank you. Merry Christmas, my love. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. So let me see. Hold on. Where am I? I wrote this shit down so I didn't forget. Nobody can like the cousin. The cousin is not real. It's kind of sketchy on when they went missing. I mean, if your cousin and his wife and his baby just leave, but anyway, so they believe they were killed sometime in October of 1980. It was not a great. It was a horrible death. It was a horrible death. I'll read it to you. They were murdered, between October 1980 and January 1981. On January 2nd in 1981, a dog. Thank you, Shannon. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. A dog. How many dogs have run in on since we have been covering just these girls, that a dog is come running out with either a freaking skull or arm? It's been a lot. It's been a lot. And this does not disappoint here. The dog came running out with an arm, a decomposing arm. Searches were begun, and the heavily decomposed bodies of the Klauses were found. Their identities weren't known for 41 years. 41 years. Their bodies were found feet from each other. Their faces were still recognizable. I don't know how you fucking know. Dean was bound and gagged before being beaten to death, and she was bound and strangled in front of him. He died second. You might be thinking, where's the baby? Well, I know y'all remember this story. A heavily, a weird ass traveling religious show, right? I mean, whatever they were, in long gowns and stuff, walked up, I think, to a home in Oklahoma and handed them a baby, right? And what do? They took the baby. Now, that baby went through, adoption, and she was adopted out eventually. And just this year, or last year, no, it was this year, they were identified. And they ran their DNA through Ancestry.com, 23andMe, and they found the girl, the daughter, who never knew anything about her where she came from. So why they were killed, don't know. How the religious people got the baby, don't know. Just glad they let it go. They took it somewhere. So that was our next one. All right. Let me go over here. Hold on. I'm going over here. Now I can see y'all doing something over here. All right. Here we got another little girl. We've got Michelle Angela Garvey. And she is 14 years old. And here's about as good of a picture of her as I could get. Now, Michelle Garvey ran away from home in New London, Connecticut on July 1st. Nope, June 1st. June 1st. Got all the way down to Texas. Right? Don't know who she came with. They don't know anything that she did while she was here. All right? Nothing. Oh, there. Sorry, not here. But she was killed a month later in Texas. And I'm going to show you what she was wearing, because this was supposedly going to be a huge clue. It was a shirt, and that's a pretty intricate, embellishment there of a horse. So this actually went out to the people in Texas, and nobody knew her. Actually, somebody through Web Sleuths found her and found the other picture and thought they might be together, and they were. So again, not identified until many, many moons later. Many, many moons. I'm trying to see. Her body was found on July 1st in Baytown, Texas. She'd been strangled and very possibly sexually assaulted. She was buried near two other murder victims in 1981, and that would be the Klauses. She was buried near them. So, serial killer? Probably. I don't know. So again, she, did not get identified until almost as long as they did. All right, we're gonna go. Because I want to say these names. I want to say these people's names. I want to say their names. This is Susan Eads, and she was 20. And look how pretty. God, she was so pretty. She left her home in Harris County around 4:30 on August 30th, 1983, to go to her waitressing job. The next day, her naked and bruised body was found strangled to death with, she was wearing a bodysuit, and they strangled her with the bodysuit. An autopsy found that she had been sexually assaulted. She was last seen at the club with a white man in a black cowboy hat. Now, if you will remember, and I don't know if you will because I don't know if we discussed it, Clyde Hedrick had a black cowboy hat. All right. William Reese, which we'll talk about in a minute, he had a black cowboy hat as well. Did he do it? I don't know. Clyde liked clubs, so so at some point the DNA was retrieved from her body. Oh shit! Nope. What is that? Nope. There you go. And it belonged to a man, Arthur Davis Jr. And why does it jump all the way back up there? So here's there is the composite of the person she was last seen with, and that's the actual murderer. So that's the one that we actually have a person, a real live person. All right, so we're just gonna. There's Heidi Fye again. She had the shit beat out of her. She had broken ribs and skull fractures, and she was blunt force trauma, beaten with a heavy object, and thrown in this field. So we're going to, like I said, we're also going to look at the Sandra K. Ramber. This is an odd one. So Amber, she was only 14 years old when she, let me come back over here. Hold on. Let me come back over here to y'all because I can't see y'all over there. Yeah, this is, you know what, that girl, when I say that I can't wait to be done with this, I've spent 2 weeks during the day and at night, because even if I go upstairs, I feel guilty, so I'll look shit up on my phone. With these girls, with these parents, with the murderers. And I can, end this, right, and I'll be done. I'll be over it. I mean, it's I'm thinking about these parents that never, that's why I got so mad. They never got closure. Nobody ever, somebody just took their children, raped them, strangled them and or shot them, and nobody had to answer for it. And at this point, the fucking police need to answer for it, because they're the ones that you're going to find when I go through here. Doesn't know. We don't know. Can't prove anything. Don't know. Nope, can't prove anything. Don't get killed in Texas. Don't get killed in Texas. I'm just telling you that. So Sandra is 14, and she was last seen at her home and in Texas, obviously, Santa Fe, on October 26, 1983. Her parents got home, and there was food cooking in the stove. It was actually biscuits, and the front door was wide open, and her purse and her coat were still there. It was October. But she was gone. She was gone. So eventually, I mean, they had to classify her as disappeared, and somehow or another she got put into this, because they thought, well, maybe she grabbed, hey Hondo, I love you. Hey Flash. They grabbed, maybe she had to run up to a store. We know that these serial killers love convenience stores. That's where they pull their, people. I've never seen anything like it. So they finally classified her as missing. She's never been found. Never, not one piece of hair. She's 14 years old, and she's just gone. And yeah, well, exactly, Lulu. Did somebody come to the door? We don't know exactly how these murderers, got the girl in their vehicles. We don't know exactly what they did. We might have a clue because we have a survivor. We have a survivor who brought this killing fields down to zilch. But we don't know. It was, girls that were on the street walking. There's one girl in here that was jogging. How do you pick somebody off of a payphone in front of a convenience store? I don't no clue how you would begin to do that. Did they wait and let them walk away? I don't know. We'll never know. They ain't talking. So, okay, let me go back over here. Don't do anything stupid while I'm over here. And there's little Miss Miller. I'll tell this story again. Her father, her and her mother had just moved to League City. And that was back when your phone just didn't get turned on. Somebody had to ask you, had to make an appointment, somebody had to come out from the phone company, do all the jacks and stuff like that. So it took a while. So that morning, and if you watched the documentary on Netflix, you've heard Tim Miller speak about it, how she asked if her boyfriend could come over that night for dinner. And Tim Miller said, I think that's a great idea. I'll cook on the grill and whatnot. So he went to work. The mother took her up to that very same convenience store that Heidi Fye was using, the phone. And she called her boyfriend. And her mother was like, Darlene, I have to be to work. Can we get this done? She said, no, all right, Mom, I will. I'll walk him. It was only half a mile. I'll walk him. I just want to talk to him a little bit longer. Mother says, okay. And she goes to work. Everybody starts showing up because she had a disorder. She had started having seizures. And she was no longer in school because it was disabled. She was disabled. So everybody shows up. Even the boyfriend knocks on the door, and they're like, where is she? And then nobody knows. And for 17 months, Tim Miller and his wife had to sit there and wait. Tim Miller begged the police, can you go up there where that other girl, Heidi Fye, was found? Can you go look in that, in that lot? Please go look for her there. They said, no, we told you that was a one-time thing. She was a waitress and left with somebody. Do not talk to her family. So the Fyes weren't talking to the Millers for 17 months. Gee, I wonder where she was. Oh, yeah. I remember now. How she was murdered, we don't know. I don't think she was yeah, I don't have how she died. I don't know if she was strangled. She was boned, so there's not really. They can tell if there's a bullet hole in the back. Well, yeah, Lavender. Lavender is she is like it is. And Alan, I'm not done. I'm not done. You're gonna get so effing mad when I start doing these things. You're gonna be so mad. All right, so we have Ellen. Remember Ellen? Let me go back over here and let me grab her. Oh, daggone it. All right. Nope, that's not the one. Hold on. Hold on. All right, there's little Heidi Fye again. We've already covered her. Bless her heart. She was out there for a long time. And then we already did that. We had Miller. Miss Bison. Yeah. That's the one that Clyde killed. That's the one that Clyde said he didn't kill. But he did kill her. But he said he didn't. And that was good enough for a jury. That was good enough for a jury. I don't know what the prosecutor in this case, because he's on that damn documentary as well. And I would not have shown my damn face if all I could get out of Clyde Hedrick was damn involuntary manslaughter. Fuck off. Sorry. I'm sorry. All right, so this is Jane Doe. Her name's not Anita, it's Audrey. I'm sorry, I got it wrong before. This is Jane Doe. Now, Jane Doe was found the exact same day that Laura Miller was found. Laura Miller was found. So they had, all right, let's think. About a week or Heidi Fye had been found. All right, remember? Okay. She wasn't in the killing fields. But when they found Heidi, they found Audrey Lee Cook, Laura was about 60 feet from where Heidi Fye had been. All right. And this lady who went no one knew her name until 2019. No one knew who she was. She had a severed spine because I think she was shot in the head. Additional injuries. She had broken ribs. So whoever, he beat the living hell out of these ladies. Clyde, because I'm just going to say Clyde. It had to be Clyde. But she sat around in a damn drawer somewhere until 2019. Until the state of Texas, and I'll put it on the United States of America. There should be people feverishly doing DNA tests to find out who all these people in drawers are, because that shouldn't happen. But she had to be in a drawer since 2019. Here we have Shelley. I'm sorry. Here she is. I'm sorry. That's her. She was known, they kept trying to do the Gap. The Gap is pretty prominent Gap. And there that was even on the plaque. There's plaques of the four women, right? She was on the plaque. And it was this face, this composite, and Jane Doe. The other one was another composite. And it was Janet Doe. So, all right. Now, all right, I'm gonna bring this up. This is Donna Prudhomme. Prudhomme. It's a weird name. She was Janet Doe. She was in there. She was the fourth girl. And quite frankly, let me tell you about her life a little bit. And I say because she was married. She had two sons. The marriage started, the husband started getting violent. She was probably a little bit too young when started having kids. So we come back over here to y'all. A little bit probably too young. Hey, Janica. So she left the husband. The Colonial Park. You know what, Laura? I got a list. Of lots of them that I want to do. Yeah, because the thing is, it's a mystery. We're not going to solve it, but speaking their name gets karma going. Anyway, when I was reading her life story, I felt bad. She had a job, she was making it on her own. The guy didn't give her any money. The husband didn't give her any money. Of course, they never do. And she struggled. I think she struggled a little bit with a lot. So eventually, she had gotten a new boyfriend, and that didn't work out. And she took her sons over to her mother's house and said, "I can't do this right now." And she moved from Port Arthur to Houston. And she was murdered, and nobody knew. Nobody knew who she was until 2019. Her two sons didn't know what happened to her. For all they know, she didn't want to come back. One of her sons actually died in a car accident. So I think about that last little son, that one, that the last one in the family. And, everything's gone. But didn't to find out that your mom didn't leave you? She wasn't, I just felt so sorry for her. And then to find out her, to look at her and you were murdered. And then you were murdered and you were left in a drawer till 2019 because nobody knew who the hell you were. Nobody knew to look for you. That's kind of the way it was with the other one. They didn't know to look for her. Didn't know she was missing. She came down. She was the who was it? I always forget who it is. Hold on. She came to Houston to the Boom. She was a car mechanic. This is Jane Doe. And none of her family was around. So when she went missing, nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave a shit. Sorry. I know it happens, but it happens a lot. It happens a whole lot. All right, hold on. Let me get back over here. We got to truck through these. All right. So this was her. She was only 34 years old. If you look at her face there, it's a lot. She looks like she's been through it. I don't think that there's a single mother out there in the world, or even not even a single mother, that hasn't thought, I cannot do this. Well, I'm supposed to raise humans, and no one's giving me any, help. And honey, we've been there. All right. This is, who the hell is that? Fuck. This is Michelle Thomas. This is Michelle Thomas. She went missing on August 5th, 1985. She worked at a gas station actually in Galveston. She got ready and went out to make she met two acquaintances, Carlos Garcia Jr. and Warren Richardson. She was planning on meeting other friends at a Galveston bar at much 17, by the way. She stopped at a convenience store. What these people have with the convenience store, I wish I knew. Maybe it's just a different, like, shuffle of different, like, I don't understand. I don't understand the damn the convenience store. But that's what she did. She stopped there, and so the two boys she was with, the Carlos Garcia and the Warren Richardson, when she disappeared, they said, "Oh, well, she got into a car with somebody else, two other guys. We don't know who they were. She just got out and got in the car with them." She was never heard from again. Her family reported her missing about 2 days later. She actually had a husband that she was separated from, and she had a son. And she went missing the day before her son turned 1 year old. So Garcia and Richardson were indicted for aggravated kidnapping in December of 1985. Do y'all want to know why it's aggravated kidnapping and not murder? Because they couldn't find the body. So they said, you know what? We'll give them aggravated kidnapping. Okay? That's what we'll do. Okay. All right. These are going to get harder and harder today. This is Suzanne Renee Richardson. She was 22. Now, this is an interesting one. All right. She was an overnight clerk at a condo resort on the Galveston, oceanfront. So she was last seen at 6 a.m. The resort security had kind of walked around and said hey to her, and that's the last time anybody saw her. Around 6:30, a customer came up to check out, and she was gone. There was nobody there. So above her office was another employee was sleeping. I don't know why, but she was directly above Suzanne's office. And she reported hearing a woman's scream, right? She heard a car door slam. She heard another scream. She heard a car gunning it through the parking lot. The only thing that was left of her, she left her wallet, her keys, her car. The only thing that was left is a shoe. A shoe was in the parking lot. So somebody got in there and into that condo office because there was no sign of struggle either. So we'll talk about who did that in a minute. All right, hold on. We got Deborah. All right. Oh, shit. All right. All right. All right, we have Lynette and Tamara. Something right. Hold on. All right, here is Lynette and Tamara. They went to a teenage club. Never seen again. At February 1st, 1996. Gone. Never showed up. Don't know where they are. No, that's a lie. All right, so on the left here is Lynette. On the right is Tamara. And they do look a lot alike. Lynette, when her body was found, they were found together. She was partially nude, 2 shots to the head. Tamara was found fully clothed and only 1 shot to the head. I don't know. Next. This is Crystal Jean Baker. She's 13 years old. She was last seen near I-45, imagine that, on March 5th, 1996. She had an argument with her grandmother, and she was going to a, guess what, convenience store to use the payphone. And I don't know that she was ever found. I mean, I don't think she was ever showed up there. She was found 2 hours later. 2 hours later, her body was found. She'd been raped, strangled, and dumped over the I-10 Trinity River Bridge. I told y'all this shit gets depressing. Now, here's the one I want to talk about. This is Laura Smither. If you remember, if you watched it, let me come over here to y'all. If you watched the there you go. Hey, Clancy Love. Hey, Fairy Meadows. I'm sorry, I couldn't see. I was over there. If you watch the documentary, Laura Smithers is covered quite extensively, even though her murder came much later. Not much later, but 1997. She said she was going to go for a jog, right? Yes, the grandniece of Marilyn Monroe. She was last seen in Friendswood, Texas, jogging. She told her mother she'd be back in 20. Hey, Momo. She'd be back in 20 minutes. So 17 days later, she was found in a retention pond. Her parents established the Laura Recovery Center, where they help families with the basics of how to get started to get the kids found. She was found nude, except for 1 sock. She also had a ring. All right. And she had been decapitated. A little 12-year-old girl had been decapitated. But here's what I found. And when I found it, I saw that some other people had found it, but I found this. Hold on. Somebody confessed this. Amber Hagerman. If you do not know who Amber Hagerman is, you've heard of the Amber Alert. Amber's parents lobbied Texas and then the entire United States because there's a very specific criteria. With Amber, a neighbor saw her get yanked off of a bike and thrown into a dark colored truck and speed off. So that is where you've got usually with an Amber Alert, you have to have a vehicle, description. So it was because of her that we have the Amber Alert. Now I'm going to read to you, all right, what happened to her. So she was riding her bike in Arlington, Texas. Now I looked between Houston and Arlington, Texas. It's a 3-hour and 48-minute drive. Not a terribly long time. 3 hours and 48 minutes. And if you are a construction worker or something like that, you might need it. You might be on that path. I don't know. So she was, her brother went to go find her. She was on her bike. They found a neighbor that was going crazy because a guy in a dark colored truck had yanked her, right, and took her. So she was hold on. Her scream and all right, so the guy sped off. That was on January, whatever. On January 17th, Amber's body was found in a drainage ditch located, doesn't matter. I'm not going to put it because it's, she had been sexually assaulted. Her throat was cut multiple times. Multiple times. And like Laura, she had on her socks. So she had on her socks. Laura Smithers, they say, there was a dark colored truck circling around the neighborhood. Now, somebody has confessed to one of these murders, but not the other, even though they're exactly alike. They're exactly alike. So we'll get to, I hate to make y'all wait on that, but all right. I'm almost done with the pictures. We're almost done with the photo part of this. All right. So there she is. This is Kelly Cox. She was last seen July 15th, 1987 at a Conoco gas station, which are kind of like convenience stores, in Denton, Texas. After locking herself out of the car, she was on the phone, payphone with her boyfriend, asking him to come and help her. She was then never seen again. Ever. 18 years later, on March 18, 2016, Kelly's remains were discovered after her killer directed investigators to search in the Brazos County. And they found her. Do you want to know if this guy do you want to know if he's been charged with murder? Oh. All right, we're getting down to it, honeys. This is Jessica Lee Kane. She was 17 years old. She was last seen at a Bennigan's restaurant in a mall with her friends at around 1:30 a.m. She was reported missing on August 17th when her father found her abandoned truck on I-45. Jessica's remains were finally found in a field off of East Oren Road. Hold up. This one I don't think fits. I don't know why this is in there, but I'm going to put it in here anyway. Let me come back over here, y'all. I do not understand why this is in there, but maybe they know something I don't. Hold on, I've lost y'all. There you are. There you are. I see you. All right, sorry. This is 57-year-old Tran Harriman. She was visiting her son in League City, and she was going to go on to Corpus Christi, and she'd mapped it out, right? She knew exactly where she was going. So around 5 a.m., she gets in her Lincoln Continental on July 12th and is going to the next, stop. Never seen again. Never seen again. She was on Highway 35. That's the last time I knew of her. And the car's never been found, and she's never been found. I do not know why they put this person in with the murdered. I don't know. They know something I don't. Here's the thing with this. You can go look on Wikipedia, and that's always where I'll go first, right? Wikipedia. And then I go and see if there's a Charlie Project. There's usually a lot more information on Charlie Project. And then you can go look. There's different places to look. And every time you go, usually you'll pull another piece of evidence that's not shared. On the Charlie Project for Miss Harriman, there's a sketch of somebody who might have been driving a car like hers down the street the day she went missing. How can you possibly say that? But anyway, I didn't even bother with that because, I I don't even know why she's in there. I'm not gonna leave her out. We got two more, and then we can start on these murderers. This is Sarah Trusty. Oh shit, that's not Sarah Trusty. This is Sarah Trusty. She was 23. She was last seen in the evening hour of the day in Algoa, Texas. She was riding her bike around a church parking lot, and all they found the next day was her bike thrown into the foyer of the church and her gone. Her remains were found on the rocks by the Texas City floodgate, 23 miles from where she was last seen. She was still wearing the clothes she was wearing the night before, obviously. Authorities indicate there was no gunshot or stabbing wounds to her body. So we don't know how she died. Nobody knows. We've got Teresa Vanga. Here she is, bless her heart. She was 16. She was last seen in Dickinson, Texas, walking near the Green Kite subdivision on October 31st in 2006. 3 days later, her body was found strangled, raped, and with her hair cut off in a field across from the high school. I don't know why they had to cut her hair. All right, so we're done with. You've now met, if you were here last week, the 30 women and one man, but the 30 women. And that was hard to compile. Oh, I'm sorry. We have Shelly Sykes. Shelly Sykes. She was last seen leaving her job at a seafood restaurant on Beachfront in Galveston prior to 12 a.m. on May 24th, 1986. Her car was found stuck in mud with bloodstains, and it was abandoned on the side of I-45 access road south of Galveston, south of the Galveston Causeway. The driver's side window was broken. There was bloodstains all over the car door and the driver's seat. She has never been found. She's never been found. But her killers have been charged and convicted. I'm going to say, if you've been paying attention, do you think that those young men were tried for murder? Probably not. You'd be right if you said no. All right. Now we're going to get to the crime fighting. This is little Sarah. Hold on. Sarah Southpaw. Sarah Southpaw was at a gas station on May 16th, 1987, on her way to meet a friend. All right. She had noticed a stranger looking at her oddly, and she didn't like it, so she left. She was driving down the road, and oh shit, her tire has been slashed. So she pulls over. Well, behind her is the weird ass guy. And he walks up and says, can I help you? She is pregnant, by the way, and she has 2 other children. And he got her in the car. He put a knife up to her neck, and he got her into the truck. Sorry. That was a white truck. And he goes tearing off down the freeway. This child right here said, you know what? No, I'm going to, he's not taking me. I'm not going. He's going to absolutely kill me. I'm going to jump out of this truck. All right. And if I die, I'm going to die anyway. So she jumps out of the truck onto I-45 right in front of a Waffle House. And so he ordered her to strip. It was just a whole thing. So she had a little bit of trouble remembering stuff. She was severely injured. You think about it. She was severely injured. And they ended up, what she couldn't remember, they put her under hypnosis. And she came up with this composite, bags under the eyes. She also came up with the license plate number of his truck. And that led us to William Reese. Looks a whole lot like the damn composite. And William Reese was a little bastard. Let me tell you. So they brought him in, right? Let me find his little packet because it is a lot. It's a lot. Let me come over here to y'all. Let me come over here to see what's going on. All right. Very brave young lady. And can you imagine having to make that decision? You're going to kill me anyway, so I'm going to jump out of this moving truck because I've got 2 children and went on the way. And this was in 1997. She's doing very well, by the way. Can I just tell you? After court and all that, she's doing very well. Married, is a notary, Republic. She's doing good. So, all right. So this is William. This is William Reese. He was born in Oklahoma, the son of a bitch. One of 13 siblings. Due to his parents' financial issues, he was forced to quit school in the 9th grade and take a job as a farm laborer. Oh, damn well, you son of a bitch. In 1979, he married Judy Flaming, and they had a child. Reese tried to enlist in the Oklahoma National Guard, and they thought better of it. They said, "No, thank you, sir." No, she didn't, Halloween baby. That's the thing, too. She didn't lose the baby. She was blessed. That child was blessed from the moment she made this decision until, she was like, when I say severely hurt, I could go down her injuries. It's a lot. She was bleeding. I mean, it was just gross. So, okay. She left him. The wife divorced him. And he convinced her to marry him again. And they had a second child because idiots should always breed. Flaming, which, I love that name, said Reese began drinking heavily and became abusive. In 1982, Flaming went to the police after a beating and said her husband threatened to kill her with a knife and a shotgun. She divorced him. He married again. That didn't work out either. A shocker. And all right, here we go. We're getting ready to get this guy did not just all of a sudden decide to be crazy, but it looked like he did. In April 1986, Reese kidnapped the 19-year-old daughter of a sheriff's deputy. The woman was driving to a local gym when her car stalled. Reese, who worked as a truck driver at the time, lured her into the truck with the promise of taking her to the nearest payphone. We've heard this before. All right. So he's just a little angel. Instead, he tied her up and raped her. I can say that because I'm not monetized. I'm not I don't have ads on the thing, so I'm good. Reese then drove her to a nearby motel where he rented a room for the night. Okay. He allowed her to use the bathroom, and that's when she went out the window. While out on bail, he got out on bail. While out on bail, he sexually assaulted another woman and was rearrested. His attorneys argued for an appeal. Oh, he was sentenced guilty to both, and he was sentenced to 25 years. His lawyer got in there and said, "Hey, there's a procedural mistake in this, and our client needs to be, I don't even know what you call it." And there happened to absolutely be a procedural thing. And so when Reese won the appeal, his sentence was reduced. He was paroled in October 1996. So I can't remember how much. I had that written down, how much it cut off. 2 kidnappings and rapes. He served 10 years. Thank you for being a member. He had 2 kidnappings, 1 rape, and he only got 10 years. So, yeah. He moved in with his mother when he got out. In early 1997, he regained his driver's license and moved to Houston. So, he was in Houston a hot minute before he started murdering. I always thought that serial killers and stuff like that wherever they dumped you they were comfortable with that area. They were comfortable with it. He'd only lived there for a little bit. He was real comfortable at killing. All right, hold on. So, and then we have Miss Sandra, who he jumped out. So that was in the fall of 1997 that she jumped out of his car. So he was there from the beginning, early to the fall. When he was arrested for, taking her, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. So, all right, stay with me here. He was a construction worker, as was Clyde Hedrick. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, if you work at a construction site, because they were subdivisions going up all over Houston. So he was working at these sites. And I'm thinking to myself, could he have hid more bodies? Could he have hidden more bodies? And, if you're digging something out or whatever, you're getting ready to pour something, he knows it goes in, I don't know. I would think that gives you a lot of area to work with, to where you would become, quote unquote, comfortable there, right? Well, maybe. All right, so he decided there was a woman in Oklahoma that he ended up killing. He copped to it. I killed Tiffany Stallings. I killed her, and I killed Laura Smither, and I killed. Hold on, I'm going to read them all to you. And I killed Deborah Cox, and I killed Jessica Kane. He absolutely, positively copped to every single one of those. I did it. He didn't say he murdered Amber Hagerman. There is no way he didn't. There's no way he didn't. You have these children raped in their socks. They're only found in their socks. And you have decapitated one of them, and the other one had multiple slashes on the neck. They were 3 months apart. I went and looked. They were 3 months apart, these two. July and April, 3 months. Then 3 months later, he killed somebody else, and I can't remember who that was. I don't have it written down. It was one of these girls. He's copped to that many. He's only been there 6-7 months. I mean, he was a busy guy. In 2005, his DNA matched the murder of 19-year-old Tiffany Johnston. DNA is a wonderful thing. So that's Mr. Reese. And if I am going to tell you what he is charged with, the only reason that Tiffany was found out is because in 2000, Texas made it compulsory that a person who goes to jail for certain crimes has got to submit a DNA sample. And That was done in the 2000s. It took till 2015 to get his match with Tiffany Johnston. I mean, I know that, what did it say? The wheels of justice grind slowly. So that's him. That's Mr. William Lewis Reese. And then let's not forget our Ed Bell, who is taking credit for 11 killers, right? I'm just looking through. Hold on, all right. We're going to go back up to, we're actually going to go back up to the girls in the killing fields. We're going to go back to Heidi. We're going to go back to Laura and Janet and Jane Doe. So Tim Miller, there was adjacent to this lot, right, was another lot that was owned by a man named Robert Abel. Robert Abel was literally a rocket scientist. If you watch the documentary, you know who I'm talking about. All right, there's Donna. There's Laura's, which is much bigger. Now, I was under the impression that these markers were where the women were found. That was always my impression. It is not where they were found. They were not anywhere near this. Here is the actual thing here. You have Phi, which is all the way, and then you have, I was told, and I read 14 different places, that Miss Cook and Miss Miller were practically on top of each other. Well, no, it doesn't appear that's the case. And I have double checked this. So this is a church. I am pointing to it, and y'all cannot see me do that. Here's the church. The memorial is right here. Right here. Nowhere near where they were found. Nowhere near it. This subdivision was not there at the time. There was a little place over here that Mr. Abel had, and he had horses. And he was, you rode the horses around his little thing. But he was so odd. And he was really hyper invested into this. And I would be too, quite frankly. I mean, And they went and they talked to his ex-wives because they said, this guy is going to be cruel to animals, a sexual deviant, and something else. So, temper, a really bad temper. And when they went to talk to Mr. Abel's ex-wives, they said, yeah, he would get real mad when we wouldn't have sex with him and said he was going to kill us. And he would beat the animals. He would beat the horses. And if they died, they died. He didn't care. So Robert met every single profiling criteria. So Tim Miller, and he freely admits it, got kind of fixated on this guy, right? This guy had, his place was searched, his house, his property, his family was talked to. They would come through, yes, off Calder Road. They would come over his property in helicopters. In helicopters. They're saying to get a good look at it, but it's causing, dust and horses to jump up and everything. And they just kept doing it. They were convinced he did it. As was Tim Miller. Tim Miller was absolutely convinced. He would leave horrible messages on this guy's answering machine. He would go up to the guy. The guy, Robert Abel, he couldn't even go to the store. Everybody thought he did it. The cops went to court when they went to get these, search warrants. What did they classify him as? Hold on. A serial sexual offender. They went and told a judge, this guy's a serial sexual offender and blah, blah, blah. People would not bring their children there to ride horses anymore. And then you had Tim Miller, who was drinking heavily at the time. And at one point, Tim Miller went to his house and held a gun to his head, to Mr. Abel's head, and told him, I should just blow you away right now. And they started to realize maybe he wasn't the guy. Yeah, they found nothing. He would like offer his opinion. He's highly intelligent. And he would really think about these things. And either when the police got over there or whatever, he would go and say, listen, I think Golden Beaver. He was like, I've got a really good, I think I got it. And so they thought that was odd. They had every reason to think, but then he wasn't. And eventually, Tim Miller went to him and begged for his forgiveness, which I hope Mr. Abel gave. I'm pretty sure he probably did. So he ended up, Mr. Abel moved to his family had land somewhere else in Texas. And he moved there. And he still couldn't shake being William, Robert out. Yeah, he couldn't shake it. People always knew who he was. So what he ended up doing is in 2005, he took his golf cart where he was living, and train was coming, and he took the golf cart and put it on the tracks, and he killed himself. In my mind, that's another victim. That's really another victim. Tim Miller's a victim, Tim Miller's wife, whatever. So this man just couldn't take it anymore. So then they went back to no suspects. So we have, I thought this diagram was so interesting because I really thought this is where those little crosses are where they were found. No, it was not. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. Here he is. Here's Mr. Abel. There he is. And here's a later picture of him when he got a little bit older. Yeah, his business was gone. All right. When in regards to Miss Heidi and Miss Laura, this is the convenience store that they were both on the payphone, right? Obviously, Heidi before, obviously, and then Laura later. And this is in relation to where they were found. Not very far away at all. Again, I wish I knew what the damn thing. And this is that convenience store now. It's overdone. And here we go with that again. I do not know how victim 3, I think absolutely Clyde Hedrick killed Heidi Fye and Laura Miller. I do not know how victim 3 is because we don't have a date where I've said, okay, they were last seen on, so we don't have that for victim 3 or victim 4. We don't have it. We don't know when they went. I don't know. All of the women, all of them were found on their backs, all right, with their arms crossed like this under a tree. So that, if Hedrick did that to victim 1 and victim 2, Heidi and Laura, he had to have done it to victim 3 and victim 4. How would you even know that the victims were found like that? Because that's an odd way to find a body. So, we can say he did it. I'm going to say he did it. If he didn't do it, oh, well, sue me. He'll probably fucking win. Now, this is Tim Miller in front of his daughter's cross. I showed you a little bit here how clean it was. This was in the beginning. And now we have this field that's behind that church. So you see little benches and stuff. So, Robert Abel, there we go. We're pretty sure Clyde Hedrick killed, I think, victim 1, victim 2, victim 3, and victim 4. Now I'm going to show you. This is Mark Stallings. He's a convicted kidnapper. He's serving a life sentence. He confessed to killing Donna, victim number 4. He confessed, I did it. I killed her. Here's how I did it. And well, he also worked for Robert Abel for a while. He worked over there beside Mr. Abel. So there, now y'all need to follow me here. Now you're now in my head now, right? I know who I think killed 1, 2, 3, and 4 because of the way they were found. But then Mark Stallings comes up and says, no. I killed Donna. I killed victim 4. I mean, okay. And you were found right there, even though she was, let me show you. Hold on. Again, let me show you back up here. We're going to show how far away Donna was found from the rest of them. Oh, shit. No, that's not that far. Here we go. She's all the way down here at the bottom. If they were already calling this the killing fields, no, I can't even say that because Miss Cook was found the same time Laura Miller was. That's why I think, all right, that Clyde did that one because she was found at the same time. You know, there's not a lot. Miller and Faye were 60 feet apart. Miller and Cook, I don't know. If that's 60, then that's about 80, 85. I don't know. But Donna is way down here. He's not even on the same plot of land. Over here, yeah, this is a street. This is like a little dirt road. So I don't know. I don't know if he did it or not. But Mr. Stallings did confess to it. And if you are wondering, was he charged with it? No, he wasn't. Not enough evidence. It's not enough evidence. All right, so let's find Shelley. We're getting ready, people. We're almost getting there. Miss Shelley Sykes, the one that, hold on, Miss Shelley Sykes. Yep, nope. All right, Miss Shelley. I think this is Shelley. I think. Nope, that's not Shelley. Hold on, I have to find her. There was two guys. I'm just gonna tell you this. All right, there was two guys. A Mr. Swart and a Mr. King, John King, Gerald Swart. Gerald Swart called the police department one night and said, me and my friend raped and killed Shelley Sykes. And we can tell you where she is. And they drew a map. The two of them. Now, they were in jail for something else. I don't know why people go to jail for something else and do this. So they had the map. They drew the map, and the police couldn't find her body. So they didn't charge them with murder, just aggravated kidnapping. They're telling you they killed her. Couldn't find the body. And even if you found the body, it was going to be so decayed that you're going to be, I see you, Houston and Galveston. I see you. I see what you're doing. Crystal Jean Baker. And y'all remember that's Miss Marilyn's grandniece. She had a guy confess. She had a guy named, who was his name? His name was Kevin Smith. And he is in jail for it. I'll tell you this, Mr. John King and Mr. Gerald Swart both died in prison, but not because they were. All right. So you got Miss Laura Smithers, you got Jessica, you got Kelly, you got Amber. I think he killed Amber. William Reese has confessed to all of those murders. Y'all can tell I'm running out of steam. Her. And he got life in jail with the death penalty. He also had to go back to Oklahoma, and he got the death penalty there for killing Miss Tiffany. And came, so he's serving. He's going to go back and forth. I don't know how they're going to work that out. Shipping the dead body. I don't effing know. I don't know. And then you have Mark Stallings, who confessed to killing Miss Donna, victim number 4 from the killing fields. Laura and Heidi's murders have not been resolved. Tim Miller did sue Clyde Hedrick for $24 million in a wrongful death. And he won. Mr. Miller won $24 million from Clyde. And as I told y'all, Clyde got out of jail in October 2021. He's out of jail. Gone. And they won't tell anybody where he is for his own safety. This is a man that killed at the very least 2, at the most 3 women that we know of. And they won't tell Yogi. They will not tell anybody where he is. But he's out of damn jail. Yes, he was. When the Millers lived in Dickinson, Clyde lived 2 doors down from them. So there was a connection. Plus, there was connection with the for whatever reason, the convenience store phone, because that's where Heidi was last seen. That's where Laura was last seen. And then you have the Texas Moon, which Heidi was a bartender, and Clyde liked to go there a lot. So they're connected. They're all connected. And, it might not be, it's all that they needed, So that's it. The rest of the girls, their murders remain unsolved, even though people have confessed. That's something. I'll tell you this too. If you remember, hold on. The guy last week that the corrupt sheriff and the deputy railroaded, God. Oh. So I found this out later. After this man died in jail for a murder he did not commit. You remember he was on trial for 2, and they could only pin it on 1, and he got life in jail. So after the sheriff and the deputy got arrested for all the shit they got arrested for, God, it was torture, robbing banks, running drugs, and all that. All right, this guy was still in jail, even though he kept filing appeals. So I found out when he died in 2020, and Christmas 2020, still in prison, that former lawyers, DAs started coming forward. Different sheriff's deputies and all that came forward and go, yeah, we kind of knew he didn't do it. We knew he didn't do it. He died in prison. So people that didn't do any of this died in prison. People that are not doing any of this are still running around. And people that have confessed to it have not actually had to. I'm at a loss. Let me turn this off. Hold on. I'm at a loss. It is terrible. It's horrible. And you would think, I guess maybe because we're on the cusp of this technology that's DNA. And I always said I don't know how people even solved a crime before DNA. I mean, the quote unquote foot, I don't know how they did it, but they did it. So we're on the cusp of this technology that's DNA. And so I don't understand what happened in the 80s. All right. I don't understand how you could be so stupid, but they didn't have DNA yet. Right. They didn't have DNA. And I guess if there wasn't enough body to have any kind of, sperm or whatever, right? They was just decided that it was too deep, couldn't do it. I don't know. Yeah, hopefully DNA can help them and get some of the. There's still ones that are there. There were a lot of serial killers going on in Houston at the time. There were a lot. It was Christy. I'm off my game tonight, and I'm not sure why. There was another serial killer running around in Houston. I can't remember his name. Quite a few actually. And like we told you, when we talked about it last week, it's odd that you have one serial killer around. To have two, to have three, to have these people. I mean, sorry, Mr. Reese is a serial killer. He likes to kill young girls. That's all he ever killed was young girls. And he was every bit of a serial killer. And then you have Clyde Hedrick, who is a serial killer. Has he gotten away with more than we know? Probably. There's a lot of bodies that were laying around Houston in this time. To be on this list of the 30, it was like a criteria that I don't really understand. I don't understand it. Oh, you're welcome, Ron. Thank you. Can you show us again how their arms? Oh, they were like this, like you'd be in a casket, and on their backs under a tree. All of them, all four of them, were laid out the same way. So we would have to think that Mr. Stallings killed them all. Nah, he was in jail. He was in jail for some of that. He couldn't have done it. So, I guess when you know better, you do better. Donna's son has her back, right? He has her back. Audrey's family has her back. They were there. The Tina and Dean, their family has them back, and they found their granddaughter. So it took a very long time. It took 41 years, but it did happen. Meet a serial killer. Sizzles, thank you. James Barnes. I'm going to write that down. Honda met him? I bet he did. James. Now, for next week, here's what I thought we would do. If y'all, I'll be here. Is I have on that'd be the 23rd, right? I'm going to deep dive I'm going to deep dive. Yeah, absolutely. You remember the Solder children that were they had the fire, and what was it? 5 of them went missing. Thought about covering that one again, just because. And on the 23rd will actually be the 49th anniversary of the Fort Worth trio who went missing on December 23rd. And that way it's already, this drawer is crazy. And then I thought for the new year, that would be the 30th. Either we would just dive in this, I thought it'd be neat to dive in this drawer and kind of just look at what we've covered all year, because we've covered a lot of damn cases. Just a review, year in review. And then we'll start on I can't see, the 6th with a new one. So I thought that would be, I don't know, maybe it's me. Somebody even suggested I do JonBenet Ramsey. That's a big case. That's a big case. This was a huge one. I did not realize 30 victims. I mean, I realized it was 30 victims, but I didn't. Once we got past the first 11, it got real complicated after that because you had different women, different places, different killers, different, it was a lot. It was a lot. Maybe that's why I'm a little off because there's just a lot laying around here that y'all can't see. There's a lot laying around here. Yeah. And it's finally over with. I'm done. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not gonna. Hold on, I'm gonna let me get all my little sticky notes and throw them in the garbage. I'm so sick of looking at these things. Shut, come on. All right. So, all right, next week we'll just review the Sauter children's disappearance and honor the 3 girls that are still missing from 1974. Because that's like I said, it's the anniversary, the 49th anniversary of their disappearance. I did, Miss Christie. I did a lot. I will say that. Going back to just covering, a regular little mystery is going to be great. I'm really not, Mama, but thank you. I'm just off today, and I don't know why I'm off. I'm just off. I don't know why I'm off. I'm just off. I've got so much here. I mean, look at this. This is just crazy. This is crazy. What do I do? It's crazy. Anyway, thank you, Halloween baby. Thank you so much. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. I don't know James Long, but I feel 11 years old. He worked for really? Serial killers absolutely fascinate me because there's no rhyme nor reason. Maybe they get a type, they'll get like blonde hair, young and blonde hair, or whatever. Or they cannot have a type at all. I think we've discussed this. Thank you. Or they'll be real impulsive, or they're very methodical and they wait for the right person. It's a hunt. And there's really no way, I guess, to tell. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. There's no way to tell. It's so interesting to me. And I've always thought it's interesting that you believe it's your, you have the right to take somebody away from their family, away from their friends, away from their home, and murder them because you have a type and they're at a certain convenience store or whatever. You really have that's just, I don't know. You think Earth, do you have Mama blocked? Do not. Lucky Lou, I didn't see you. I am so sorry. I'm just now noticing you. I probably said hi to you. Mama, Mitten Mama, did you get many subs last night? I need to know. Did you get many subs? Because I'll send them over everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. My husband was strolling through your stuff. Oh yeah, this looks good. Scroll. Oh, this looks good. This looks good. I'm like, eh. But I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Is that all? Oh, come on. All right. We're going to try harder next time. I'll threaten them. I don't care. James in an interview on YouTube. Shannon, it scared me. When everyone found out he was a killer. Yeah. I'm going to look him up and see what's going on with this dude. Like I said, I don't have any. I've got a lot of different mysteries and stuff. I think I want to go back maybe to just one of those weird ass mystery. You truly do. Sir, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I do. Thank y'all very much. I do try. But yeah, I get a list of what I want to do. And I think I want to just find a really like mystery that, like when we did the Yuba 5 and different mysteries like that. because there's no dead bodies that I got to worry about. I don't have to describe a dead body to y'all. Yeah, that'd be nice to do. So I might try to find those. Those are hard to find than like a murder mystery. There's plenty of unsolved murders. Thank you, Midnight Banker. I appreciate it. I really do. Yeah, y'all have a really great rest of the night. Have a good Sunday. Christmas is coming. I hope you're warm and ready and all that. I'm not. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Not even a little bit. So I love you all. Y'all know. Thank y'all for coming. You always show up for me and support me doing this, and I appreciate. I couldn't do it without you. I wouldn't do it without you, and it means so much when I see y'all pop up. And yeah, hold on. You know my email, right? At gmail.com. And as like I said, I get to know, well, me and Hondo were married once. That's a lot. I get to know y'all and I can't wait to see you. I miss y'all. So good night. Love you. Thank you. I'll see you next week. We're going to cover the Sauter Children and the Fort Worth Trio just to go through it. And then we'll, it's good. I love you guys. Thank you.